Hi guys, welcome to the Chef's Backyard. I got my helper here. Today we're going to show you how to make whipped mashed potatoes. It's really easy. We just need a few ingredients. All right, so what we're going to need to make these whipped mashed potatoes is a potato masher, a potato peeler. We're going to need some butter. Look, we're using unsalted butter because we're going to adjust the salt ourselves. We're going to need 2 pounds of russet potatoes, 4 ounces of butter, 6 ounces of milk, 6 ounces of cream, salt and pepper to taste. We're going to use fresh cracked black pepper with this little grinder top. Oh man, it just is so much better. And you're going to need some water. The water will be to cook the potatoes in. You ready to cook? Let's go. All right, so my helper is going to help us to peel some potatoes. In her hand, she's got a potato peeler. And over here, we've got some potatoes. We've got a bowl that we're going to use to catch the potato peel. And then we'll place the peeled potatoes into here. Show us how it's done. So first thing you want to do is you want to grab that potato, get a good grip on it, and then use your peeler and go from top to bottom in one smooth motion, pressing all the way down. See how the potato peeler is just taking just the very edge of the skin off? You don't want to take too much of the potato. The skin is very thin, and so this helps us just to remove the outside of the potato. It was grown in the dirt, and by doing this, you'll have a fluffier, lighter colored mashed potato dish. You can leave it rustic and leave some of the skin on or leave all of the skin on. That choice is yours. We're going to go ahead and peel these, and then I'll come back and show you what the next step is. All right, so as you're peeling your potato, you may notice some of these spots. Something that you might not have even noticed on your potato peeler is it has a spot on it to remove the eyes. These are called eyes. And so you use that to help you get in there and get those eyes out of the potato. And again, that just helps you to keep more of the potato available for your dish, because if you peel it and peel it and peel it, then you're going to lose a larger portion of your potato than if you just go right in there, scoop that eye out, and then now you've removed that brown spot, and you've got your potato. So see, you can get that eye tool in there, and it'll help you remove those eyes, and you get those potatoes nice and clean. There you go. All right, guys, now that we've got our potatoes peeled, let's go ahead and we'll start on the next step. What we want to do is we want to cut these potatoes into larger pieces, somewhere between 1 and 2 inches. The smaller you cut them, the faster they're going to cook. But I like to go with a pretty large chop, and so that way I like a piece about that size, and that way they cook pretty evenly. So what we'll do is once we cut this, we're going to go ahead and place it in our pan. Right now I don't have any heat on there, but we'll go ahead and cut up all of the potatoes, get them in the pan, and then we'll start the next step, which is add the water. Just a couple more cuts. And if you notice the way that I'm holding my knife, I've taken the handle and I'm pinching it. This is called a pinch grip, and that gives you better control. Especially, the potato isn't a really hard ingredient, but it takes a little bit of force to cut through it. So that's why I'm using the grip. Okay, so now that we've got our potatoes cut, we're just going to add water until we get completely cover the potatoes. We're not going to add any seasoning or anything, but we've got a cold pan, room temperature potatoes, and room temperature water. Now we're going to start it, and we're going to bring it to a boil. All right, guys, so our potatoes are coming to a boil. You can see them bubbling. We got some starch coming up to the top. That'll drain off whenever we drain the potatoes. But you want to get your potatoes to where they're at a nice boil, nice even boil. And we're going to boil them for, 12 to 15 minutes. And once you can push a fork all the way through them, that's called fork tender, and they'll be ready, and we'll go on to the next step. And just be careful because the pot can boil over. So watch your heat. You don't want to overboil your pot there. All right, guys, so we've been boiling for about 15 minutes. Let's check and see if these potatoes are done. That my fork went right through them, so that tells me that they are fork tender. So we'll go ahead and turn off the heat. Okay, so we're just gonna drain these potatoes. Now into this hot pan, we're gonna add our remaining ingredients, right? We've got some milk, we've got some cream. Now, if you wanna lighten that up, you can add 1 measure of broth instead of the milk or instead of the cream. And then we're gonna add our butter here. This is kind of softened up. One of the cool things about the way your butter is made is there's little guides right here that show you how much a tablespoon is. This is 4 ounces of butter, 1 stick, 4 ounces, 8 tablespoons. And I'm cutting it up so that the butter will melt more evenly into the milk. Okay, now you can add a little more seasoning into those if you'd like. I've got half a teaspoon of garlic powder here. You can add that in and it'll give your potatoes a little garlicky flavor. Definitely want to add the salt in here. I've got 2 teaspoons of salt, and we'll let that come together. We can do a little cracked black pepper. Fresh cracked is going to be the most fragrant, the most delicious. And I'm just going to give a few turns there. You can use white pepper if you don't want to see the pepper in there. And it smells good. So what I want to do here, I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. I want to get that butter to where it's almost all the way melted. Make sure that we have warm liquid that we're adding our warm potatoes into. As I'm dragging the spoon along the bottom of the pan, I can hear that the salt is still kind of crunchy. I want that to melt so that it flavors the entire. All right, my butter's pretty much melted. I like where I'm at. We're gonna move the camera and give you a close-up of the next step. Okay, so we've got our potatoes, and now we're going to add them into that liquid. And I'm gonna take the masher and we'll just mash the potatoes. So you just want to mash these until they're smooth and you have a nice puree. And use your masher to stir, yeah, just like that. Use your masher to stir the ingredients together. All right, guys, so we've got our potatoes. They've got a really nice texture to them. Let's grab a scoop, place them down on our plate there. All right, you want to give them a try? Have a taste. Tell me what you think. That's like the littlest spoon ever. Do they have enough salt?
Yes.
I want a little more black pepper on mine. That fresh cracked pepper just makes it taste so good. Potatoes, simple recipe, delicious. Potatoes are good with herbs as well. Some chives on this is fantastic. Dill, potatoes with some dill is really good. Maybe, you know, even tarragon or rosemary potatoes are good. Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to thank my helper for all of her help today, and we'll see you soon here at the chef's backyard.